Well, this is Batman, obviously. From the trailer, you can see this is Batman. Welcome to Batman. So, I know this is 2 years late, but here goes. The Batman, Matt Reeves Batman, Battinson, however you want to call it. This absolute monstrosity of a film. It's a 3 hour intense thriller about the rich, about Batman, about Gotham, about Bruce Wayne, all through the eyes of Matt Reeves. Most notable for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now, this movie is literally impossible to watch at home, in the sense that in the theater I was absolutely captivated, but trying to watch it at home is actually really difficult. Usually, when you're on a Friday night or Saturday and you load up Netflix or Hulu or Prime or Disney, holy shit, there's a lot of streaming services. That's not good. Are we in cable again? But anyways, I digress. When you put on a movie, it's usually 90 minutes, chop and change, and boom, you're done. Now, this movie took me 4 days to get through. That's not good. And don't even get me started on the shit movies that usually circulate. That's also 3 hours. Obviously, we have our greats like Oppenheimer and Endgame, but then again, we have boring ass movies like Killers of the Flower Moon, and don't even get me started on the Scorsese fanboys who will come at me in the comments that think that this movie isn't long, you just don't get it, bro. But it is over 3 hours of history. I can't stand that. That's too much for me. Anyways, you can say I have a TikTok brain, but when I watch a movie, I want a movie with action. I want a movie that's interesting, not a history lesson. If I wanted to do that, I would have gone to university and enrolled in a course. Since this movie is so long, I have to split it into 3 parts that I watched. First hour, the second, and then the final. So it kind of works neatly with the 3 acts. So the first hour. What exactly happens? So we get introduced to Gotham. Gotham, just like in the Joker movie, is absolutely fantastic. Other stuff in the Joker movie, not so fantastic. But that's besides the point. It actually looks dirty. It looks like an absolute shithole where rent would probably be $250 a month. We also get introduced to Batman with this comic style rant, which can only come from a comic book and nowhere else. This Batman, in my opinion, is the best comic accurate Batman, and lots of people agree. I know lots of people like to hate on the Nolan trilogy because it's not as great due to the inaccuracy of the comics, but then again, you have things like Batman defeating Darkseid, who has a Omega Beam that the Flash cannot evade. The Flash. For example, in Nolan's movies, the city isn't as shit. That's why the argument is, oh, well, Batman can just use his money to clean up the city. He doesn't actually need to do anything. But it's sort of the same as Spider-Man 2. Sort of the same as Spider-Man Homecoming. If you look at Spider-Man 2, it is a Spider-Man movie. Homecoming is basically a Marvel movie and a coming-of-age movie in Queens starring Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. Batman, Arkham, Batman, Batman: The Dark Knight is mostly a Christopher Nolan film, and it just happens to star Batman. That's, I think, what a lot of people miss when they're comparing the two. But anyways, what happens in this movie? So in the first hour, we get our introductions to Batman, and we actually see him doing some detective work, being smart. Saw a little bit of that in the Christian Bale Batman, but not as much as I'd like to. We get a lot of it in this movie, and if you're not really a fan, sorry, but that's kind of the whole movie. We get into the corruption, and to Riddler, which doesn't matter how many times I watch the movie, the beginning scene always scares me with him dropping the carpenter tool. And we also get introduced to Catwoman, Selina Kyle. Also, the casting of Zoe Kravitz, fantastic. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then we also get into the intro of the main conflict of Riddler with Batman. That first seems to start off as an alliance, and you know what? If I was Riddler, I think I would probably know. I think I would probably feel some sort of camaraderie with Batman, because he's a weird dude who's dressed up as a bat. Very interesting. Anyways, then we jump to the second hour, which is where we get more information on Batman. Also, this movie is very much about the story, and the story is pretty good, but if you're more into action, stay away from this movie. But it still has a bit of action as well. Get more info on Batman's side of it and Bruce's side of it. Alfred and slowly get closer to the Rat. So we get it through first the Commissioner dies, Also, the scene with him and the rats is, I mean, just amazing. It's like, it's a really good scene. It's also really well done. Then we get the DA, who I'm pretty sure is killed. Oh, right, yes, that's the bomb scene. The bomb scene is really good. Also, slight lapse in, not concentration, but a slight lapse in movie logic. How is Batman, with his suit, surviving a literal bomb explosion about, what, 2 millimeters from his face? I mean, interesting one. Um, we also get what I really like, a comic accurate glide suit. If you've ever played the Arkham games, you know, oh, you just open the glide suit, you can glide anywhere. Thing is, this is year two Batman. He wouldn't have that, and his glide suit is very much a parachuting suit with just some gliders. So it doesn't actually stretch the imagination one bit. That's probably how someone with a glide suit would glide, which is awesome. And then finally, after the DA, we go through like two chronological scenes that happen at different times, where they both go into the Iceberg Lounge. So first, Batman goes as Batman, and then as Bruce Wayne, which could be, you know, categorized as him kind of opening up his Batman persona because of Catwoman. Could be, could not be. But then they finally catch the Rat, who is, of course, Falcone. Also, the getaway scene. The car scene, I mean, that deserves a video in and of itself, but it's so good. It is flashy. And the only thing that I don't really like about it is the surrounding environment. It still has the orange glow and everything, but the problem is that it's very much a you get sucked out of the world because Gotham is a timeless kind of world, and with the cars that are driving and the trucks that are driving around, it's very much is kind of a time. They're kind of, you know, they do make this story at a certain point in time in history. They kind of got away with it in Batman Begins because it's happening on a rooftop and it's kind of, you know, it's modern day, you know, what is it, New York. So I mean it makes sense, but it's mostly on a rooftop with a helicopter, so it kind of works. Or Chicago, my bad. In the third hour, in terms of the story for me personally, there isn't anything really I can say that's bad. I mean, there's no nitpicking. There's really nothing. I mean, I will say the whole like um, Bruce Wayne's parents were dicks is a storyline you can do, I guess. But I mean, nah. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I know in the Nolan trilogy, they really try to, you know, make them good people, and they did. And it's just kind of like, you know, they're just amazing people. But here, you know, you get Martha's thing and Thomas's thing, and it works. It works. They did a little bit of the same thing in the Gotham show, which I'll talk about later. But the standout for me here is obviously Pattinson's jawline. That thing is so sharp it could cut butter. But no, it's actually Paul Dano's acting. He is acting like a mentally deranged person, and I'm here for it. A lot of people complain that the Riddler is too similar to the Joker, but you're telling me two guys, two of the same dudes, have grandiozing narcissism, aren't gonna act the same? Are you kidding me, dude? Anyways, but also with this movie, there were heavy complaints of how there is no Bruce Wayne persona in the Batman. This movie, I think, is more of an intense version of that, but in Batman Begins, you're not telling me that Bruce acts the same with Alfred and in public. I get that this movie doesn't really act like. I mean, he's still Bruce Wayne. You can't not act as yourself. He's acting like Bruce Wayne, but there's no persona. But like here, he has the charisma and the charm of, you know, Patrick Bateman. Uh, but yeah, um, when he's in the manor, it's still the same. Another example is the TV show Gotham, which I mentioned before on Fox. Absolutely amazing show. I will hopefully do a review and analysis on it, but please do watch it. Everyone on that show is great. Also, Bruce is like a little timid kid when he starts, and when he gets like 15 to 17, he starts acting like an absolute asshole in public. Not Private Alfred. Uh, there, it's not very subtlety. It's not very subtle, but that's kind of the whole point. He needed to be a brat so that no one suspect he's Batman, as you do, which is the same thing here. But in this character, in Pattinson's character, I can see why criticism this criticism hold validity, but truly, I think it will definitely be more evolved. They kind of patch up his uh, alter ego, Bruce Wayne. They'll probably patch it up in a later version. Um, in the Batman movie, however, we also get amazing cinematography in the form of, fun fact, Greg Fraser, who also did the Dune movies. So real no surprise there that cinematography is going to be awesome. As well in the movie, it only uses a little bit of CGI. Like I think that gliding scene, definitely CGI, but it's not like overwhelming like other movies, like the Marvel movies. Come on, I had to get a Marvel pun. I had to get like a Marvel dig in there somehow. Um, yeah, the main information, however, is of a shot is composed in the foreground and is high focus in the background, kind of morphs and blurs into the background, but it really helps accentuate the focus of the shot. So, for example, if you take one of the first shots of the movie, also this only works in dark when it's darker. So, if you take the first scene with the Riddler when he's beating on the mayor, you see everything that's happening, but if you look on the outsides, on the periphery of the shot, there's not many things that you can actually make out. Like you can still see them, but they're not the focus, and it's all bringing to the focus of the show to create this dirty and grungy look, which works very well. In terms of DCU going forward, and this is a movie review, but I also like the DCU, so I'm going to talk about it. I honestly would be happy with this being a part of James Gunn's universe, as well as if this was a separate entity. Both are valid reasons. The reason is that both would be awesome. In terms of what's next for the series, hopefully. We know the Penguin show is coming out in 2025 or late 2024, and I can't wait for more Colin Farrell as the Penguin, along with building the world outside of Gotham after the flood and the whole, what's her name? Bella Real mayor type thing. I think Batman has always been absolutely shat on as a franchise, especially by the likes of Schumacher and co. Now, you can disagree with me all you want, but Christopher Nolan revived Batman's awesomeness. Yeah, he's a bit more serious, and maybe some people like the campier version. I hate campy Batman. Batman is a serious guy. Doesn't mean he's violent. Just because he has a grumpy voice doesn't mean he's evil. He's not an anti-hero, he's a hero. But I like it when he's serious. He's dark, brooding. I like my Batman voice. So this is a return to comic accuracy with actual snares and snakes, which I love. Anyways, this movie's amazing. I really hope you guys watch this, and when you do, leave a comment what you think I'm right on, what you think I'm wrong on. Let's foster a good conversation in the comments. See what you guys are thinking. Stay tuned for gaming series, or maybe one or two videos for one of the Fallout games. I'm not playing all of them. That's too much time that I do not have. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if not, leave a comment on what you didn't. And yeah, hopefully I can fix that for future uploads. Have a good day.